Hello and welcome back, everyone. Now, before we begin recording this video, I want to remind everyone that the MMO videos, ever since the very beginning of this MMO project, we've been telling everyone this. These videos are supposed to be over-the-shoulder videos, which means, if we happen to give some lecture as we go along putting things together, that's a bonus. And of course, all the way up to this point, we've been doing a tremendous amount of lecture with everything that we've recorded. Well, tonight's one of the first times that we are kind of doing some rapid over-the-shoulder shooting, meaning that it's getting pretty late and we're going to be calling it soon, but we wanted to go ahead and get some MMO videos recorded. But it was one of those, do we really want to wait another night so that we can prep the content? Now, up to this point, we've been looking at ANTLR, and we've put together a very simple ANTLR project showing how, through some very simple lexer and parser rules, we could do a subset of JSON, which has been really cool. But now we're getting to a point of, this is all nice, but where does C# come into play? These classes that get generated for us from ANTLR, how do we use them over in our projects? And Nelson, when you were dealing with that, when coming up with CGS, you ran into an interesting issue, didn't you?
Yeah, basically, at the core of it, you're going to have to send this .g file into an executable, into the ANTLR executable. And the ANTLR executable is then going to create CS files. Now, integrating that process into a workflow is not trivial for a variety of reasons. I started off with what the recommended way to do it is, which is to actually integrate into MS Build. And if you're aware, MS Build is the build system that Microsoft provides for us to build .NET applications. And every single like CS proj, for example, is an MS Build script, technically. So I was able to actually open up, edit my CS proj files, and add in additional logic that allowed Visual Studio, or told Visual Studio to tell ANTLR to generate the code files every time I did a build. Now that presented two problems. The first problem was the way the build script worked initially was that it only generated the files at compile time and did not technically add them into the project. Now the problem with that is that ReSharper uses those, or ReSharper does not go off of what the actual compiled executables are when it presents its IntelliSense. Instead, it goes off of what the code files in your project are. So ReSharper wasn't seeing those files, and it became an absolute pain. I modified the ANTLR build script. It took a little bit of tinkering, but I got it to where it would actually generate code files inside of my project, which was great, and it did so on every build. The problem with that, it took about 3 seconds every build to compile the ANTLR scripts, and 3 seconds on a build when you're doing rapid development is completely obnoxious. In addition, other tools were unable to cope with the ANTLR build script itself, such as ncrunch, and it was unable to actually successfully build the project when it did its continuous unit test integration. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Basically, those are the problems that I ran into, and I pretty much just decided that I was going to have ANTLR execute it manually outside of the project, have it generate the CS files, and then have those CS files be added to the project manually by myself. That became very tedious and annoying, and when things are tedious and annoying as programmers, we come up with a way to make it less tedious and annoying. So I wrote a little program that monitors a given directory structure and recompiles CS files when it detects a change to a .g file.
So coming up in the next video, we're going to take a look at how to put that application together, right, Nelson?
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to add in this video here?
No.
Okay, I just want to remind everybody that, again, this is supposed to be camera over the shoulder, so we're just going to get these videos in real quick since this application is an excellent utility that makes working with both ANTLR and our files and our project much easier. So I'm just tossing that out there for you. But anyways, that's going to wrap up this really quick introduction to what we're going to be doing with this little utility application, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks a lot.